I have tried to film this intro so many times at this point. I feel like I've lost my sparkle. I'm crazy because I'm just so full of sparkle. But yeah, I feel like I kind of lost my sparkle, guys. And maybe that has something to do with the fact that instead of my original plan, I have moved back into my childhood bedroom. Yup, that's right. I am back. We're so back, guys. This is like teenage me all over again. It's hell. It's horror. Yeah. I am currently recording this on my bed on top of a laptop tray. So if it's like a little wobbly, I'm so sorry. Like, there's literally nothing I can do to control that. I simply only have a bed now. I don't have a desk. I own this corner of the room. From that light to the end of this bed, that's what I own. So that's fun, right? It's so silly and fun. I moved like 3 weeks ago almost, and it's just not been what I was hoping for, and it's been kind of a sad time. Funnily enough, you probably could have guessed it. I have not kept up on any of my goals. I have not maintained that momentum. No, sir. So, when I was sitting down to write this, like, outline for this video, I was like, what have I even done? I was actually surprised that I could fill it out. I did not think I would be able to, but I have. And you know what? For that, I'm glad. Anyway, enough about sad life stuff. Let's get on to the report. Reading. I finished one book this month, and it wasn't even a full book. It was a novella. Me when I just don't say the name. Isn't that so sweet and funny? It's called Graveyard Shift. This book was recommended to me on TikTok, actually, which is crazy because M.L. Rio is one of my favorite authors now. I mean, they've only released one other book, but it's one of my favorite books of all time. It's called If We Were Villains. I hope everyone goes out and reads it. I'm not even gonna, I just endorse it fully and wholeheartedly. There's never been a book that I've loved more than that book. That's probably a lie. I don't think so, though. Maybe Perks of Being a Wallflower. I feel like they're equivalent, though, in terms of my like of them. This book was just like not surprisingly, I guess, so enjoyable for me. I had the best time. It was a great distraction because I read it right before the move. So I was just able to get lost in this like thriller for just a day, because it's very short. It has how many pages? It's only 126, so it's a very short book. But it's just such a cool premise, and I really found myself getting immersed in the world, which is something that Emma Rio is just like great at doing. So the premise of the novella is that a group of night shift workers on the campus of a university, they all gather together at a derelict churchyard to take their smoke breaks during the middle of the night. And they're not really like friends, but they're kind of just like tangentially, situationally connected, and they have like this group chat, etc. But this night, they find a fresh grave that none of them have seen before. And before they disband to continue the night, the gravedigger returns. And the rest of the night is just spent, the group just following this person as they begin to like connect some strange occurrences happening in town. And it felt like a noir. It was so fun and cool. I love noirs. I'm thinking specifically of films. rather than novels, but I am sure like a noir novel is very fun as well. But it was so like thrilling and like chilly and eerie. I really enjoyed the tone. I really enjoyed how all of the characters' perspectives coalesced and supported the main mystery, but also they were able to have their own arcs and development, and it was very satisfying, especially because there were like five character perspectives going on, and that's like a lot to juggle in such a short amount of time. And I thought that they were all done really well. So I was very impressed with how that was handled. And overall, I gave Graveyard Shift 4 stars. And I definitely recommend, if it sounds interesting to you, to check it out. And I just carte blanche recommend that everyone read If We Were Villains. I love that book. Eating was probably the one letter of the acronym where I was just kind of lost. I've been pretty much very frugal with my money, and I have just been like meal prepping and keeping everything pretty tight. So I didn't really feel like there was anything special. But the second day I got back, I went and got sushi because that was something that I really wanted to get when I came back to LA. I got, I think it's called the volcano roll. It's like a white fish on top, and then inside is tuna. Very good. And it's like baked white fish. Very good. Highly recommend. As for music I've been playing this month, I have been playing Say Goodbye by Fleetwood Mac a lot. It's this duet between Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, who are just like, I feel like the face of Fleetwood Mac in terms of their relationship. This song is just like a really beautiful, like somber, bittersweet letting go of that relationship, of that romance, I suppose. And I have been listening to this song for many years. It's from one of their later albums, and I've just been listening to it a lot recently. And then The Light Behind Your Eyes by My Chemical Romance. When I get into an emotional time, I listen to emotional music, and Light Behind Your Eyes is definitely that for me. I love that. And then completely opposite of that is A Fever You Can't Sweat Out by Panic at the Disco, which I have just been re-listening to because I miss steampunk Panic, and they just actually were announced to be playing When We Were Young Fest in 2025. And I'm sorry, we all know it's just you, Brandon. Anyway, so I've been listening to Fever, just so well written, and we all know why. A few songs I would recommend off that album are London Beckoned. That's not the whole song, but it's so long. And Camisado and Time to Dance. Love Time to Dance. Something that I have been obsessing over this month, and I think I always will. I feel like it's safe to say I always will. I think it's on par with like my level of obsession of Avatar, the blue people. The Fear Street trilogy. I love Fear Street. It's been such a comfort series for me. So clearly I had to watch it twice when I came back, twice in a week and a half. Yeah, I did just restart it. And then maybe I am gonna restart it again today. It keeps me from dwelling. It's just a really fun slasher horror about a town that's been afflicted by misfortune, I will say, and death since 1666 when a witch was executed and like allegedly cursed the town. Future me just coming on here to add a little bit more onto what I was just saying. So Fear Street takes place in 3 different time periods. It takes place in 1994, 1978, and 1666. And it starts in 1994 after a mall massacre, and a high school senior at Shady Side, which is like the side that's afflicted by the witch, is the perspective that we follow. And she has been going through this kind of like emotional breakup, and her brother has been following the murders of Shady Side like really closely. So them and their friends get involved in the conspiracy and have to try to figure out how to save themselves from the killers that are coming after them. And that leads them onto a trail that will like unravel the conspiracy essentially. And it's just a really fun, funny series. I think that there are just so many lines that just make me laugh, and it's definitely a movie that I've begun to be able to like quote word for word. But there's just like so much fun stuff going on, really great like homages to classic horror movies that I loved. And I also just really, really appreciated that they included multiple queer storylines and allowed their characters to have romances. And I think that it's so rare to find those kinds of lesbian perspectives in media. And I'm just so glad that they chose to focus on that for the stories that they were telling. And I just highly recommend people go watch it. So back to me talking about Fear Street. I've seen the movie like 7 or 8 times by now, and you know, if I don't watch it at least quarterly, if it's not logged on my Letterboxd, something is wrong with me. Something is seriously wrong with me if it's not logged quarterly. I'm recommending another movie to you guys actually, and this movie is actually in theaters right now. You guys can go and see it. It's called Your Monster, and I was so excited to see this movie, and I was so happy that it actually was getting played at my theater because I just was not expecting a huge release for this. I put out a TikTok last week with my review, but you know, any chance to talk about it, I will. In the year of Lisa Frankenstein as well, I was not expecting to have another fun monster romance movie. And I love it. You know, it's just so fun. People were not like, it's so frustrating because like general audiences are just so embarrassing these days, you know? Like, why aren't you just like ready to have fun? Why can't you just like accept this movie for what it is? Your Monster is about this meek, aspiring Broadway actress who comes back to live in her childhood home after she gets a surgery for her cancer. I believe it's like something in the thorax of the body. I can't really remember what it is, but she had a surgery for it. And while she's dealing with her life kind of falling apart, she discovers this like freak but also like weirdly charming monster that's living in her closet. And it's just like this enemies to friends to lovers, and I just loved it. It's clearly just like a homage to classic romance comedy movies and musicals. And Melissa Barrera is the main character, and she is just so brilliant and wonderful. I love Melissa Barrera, and I will watch anything that she is in. I support her so much. She is so amazing and needs more mainstream success. Her performance and portrayal of this character's transformation and growth was just like so well executed, and I loved what the monster symbolized, and I was just so endeared by him. And this Rip Roaring Heart, which is like a full length, like Broadway-esque song, was just such a fun song. And I think it was just like really great that we got to hear the whole song. And, you know, there's a scene that really stands out to me from this movie, which is them at a Halloween party. And I just found that so charming, and I loved specifically in that scene the set and the costume design. Beautiful, impeccable. Throughout the movie, it's great, but that scene, the costumes especially, oh my gosh, Melissa Barrera, stunning. Yeah, so I gave it initially 3.5 stars, but I think if I were to go back, I would rate it 4 stars because I find myself thinking about it and I was really charmed and it stuck with me. I recommend that people go see it in theaters because we need to support movies that aren't afraid to have their own unique point of view and like aren't trying to pander for commercial success, because I feel like movies are dying lately and it's just so disheartening to go to the theater and be like, there's only shit for me to see. You know, I feel like it's definitely going to be a cult classic, like very similar to Lisa Frankenstein. I actually put it in my Man and Monster playlist on my Letterboxd, which you can go follow. I will leave it here. Yeah, editing me will know what to do. And as for treating, I have not really been treating myself right now. Money is very tight for me. Probably the closest thing that I have bought that's a treat is this photo lamp from IKEA. Because I couldn't fit a lamp in my car and I needed lighting for reading, because this is my hovel, this is my corner. So I needed that. I just figured out how to do like scenes with it. This is so cool, and I didn't realize that I could do this with my Hue ambiance lights. I've had them for like a year, and I just have been like setting them to individual colors. It's just so cool. Like, it looks like a crystal ball. I'm like, ooh, I'm a witch. Spooky. Perspective is hard, guys. Perspective is hard. It's just fun. Like, I genuinely feel like a child because I am enjoying something so simple. Ooh, I'm a witch. I'm divining. Right? I'm just gonna let it continue in the background while I say goodbye. Shut up. I just went onto YouTube and a new Hell of a Boss episode just uploaded. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys watch Hell of a Boss. Things have been happening, okay? Stolitz is going through it. Whoa, that was crazy. Oh my god. I'm gonna watch that immediately after this, instead of editing. I hope that you guys are having a good day, but if you're not, I hope tomorrow is better, and I will see you guys in the next video.